Shabana,
Hello, hello.
hello. Congratulations on What's Love Got to Do with It.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It is such a lovely romantic comedy, but we have to hear it from you. Is what initially drew you to this project?
Well, the fact that Shekhar Kapoor, the director of the film, is somebody who I have worked with in his very first film that he did in India called Masoom. And then we've done some films together. He was also an actor at that time. So we did some films together as romantic leads. And he's been a friend. I've loved his work. And so when it came to me, just the fact that Shekhar was directing it made me very interested in it. When I read the script, I absolutely fell in love with it. And then, the I mean, the icing on the cherry on the icing was Emma Thompson, who I have had such deep regard for, not only just as an actor, but as somebody who has been so involved in human rights work. So the whole package was just too wonderful, except that it was in the height of COVID in England. And, my family was very concerned about that. And then they said, listen, you're going and you're going to be back within a week because the situation is getting really bad. But we had very strict COVID protocol, but we finished the film in 40 days, which was really a record of kinds. It was wonderful. So what happened because of that is that, we were working in bubbles. And so after the shooting, we were not allowed to meet anybody at all, because you could only work with the people, you could only work with people that you were on set. And then, so that was hard. It was difficult. But, in a sense, it made all of us so focused on the work that we were doing that that all came together.
So it's a shame that you didn't get to go to India or Pakistan to film those scenes, because I understand they had to recreate all of that in London.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. That was a shame.
So tell me about the recreation of the wedding scene for yourself. What was that also fairly limited to?
You see, first remember that I come from a very progressive liberal family. My father has been a very deeply respected poet who has believed that art should be used as an instrument for social change. And my mother was a very well-known stage actress. So firstly, to get into this situation was in a sense alien for me, because that's not the kind of background that I came from. But what is interesting is that Aisha, the lady that I play, is at the cusp of tradition and modernity. And that's always interesting for an actor to play, rather than have a very clear-cut view of where you are in. So the marriage sequence had to be also recreated in London, in the suburbs somewhere. But they did a really good job of it. I must give credit to the production team, to the production design team.
Now, for someone like myself who's unfamiliar with the difference between Indian and Pakistani cultures, did you have to basically get familiarized with Pakistani culture for a film like this?
I know Pakistani culture because, actually India and Pakistan share a lot in common with each other. Our cultures are similar, our language is similar, the food that we eat is similar. So in that sense, it's not alien, because it is a South Asian culture and it's a culture of the subcontinent that we are familiar with. So it was not really alien in any way at all.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Now, tell me the difference between like Indian and English productions for yourself, because for myself, I've only seen English productions from you, and the last time I spoke to you, it was for a large production called Halo. So,
Yeah.
so tell me the difference, because you have a long career, and obviously both productions are far different from each other. Am I correct?
But earlier, I remember the first time I worked abroad was in 1989 with John Schlesinger's film Madame Suzatska, which starred Shirley MacLaine and myself. At that time, I was the only Indian on the set, and it seemed all very alien to me. Today, the sets are becoming a microcosm of the world, particularly with the crew. They're from all cultures, they're from all nationalities, they're from, it's really a microcosm of the world. Earlier, there used to be a lot of difference between the way films in India are made because they really didn't have such a systematic working ethos. Now it is becoming more and more similar. So now the differences that we had in the beginning have now totally disappeared because, I think it's also a part of, the West and the East opening up to each other. And so now I would say there's hardly any difference in the way it's done. It's all become very international in the way that it is held. But earlier also, I did feel that it was a happy marriage for the East and the West to work with each other. Because, for far too long, the world has been, the West has imposed its paradigms on the East. And now with the opening up of satellite television and everything else that goes with it, it's working both ways. So it's very good. So I remember in the beginning when we were doing a film called City of Joy with Roland Joffe, I used to be very impressed with the organization of a day's shoot. But what that did also is if something went wrong, they did not have the wherewithal to get on their feet and do something about it, which Indians do because their resources are so few that they would get up and do something with it. I'll give you an example. When we were doing City of Joy, it was almost the last day of shooting, and the rain machine that they had brought all the way from Los Angeles collapsed. And so they were like really frightened and they said, my God, what are we going to do about it? And there were these two little boys who were just sitting there and said, what's the big deal? You give us hose pipes and we'll do it. And the rain that is actually used in the film was done with the hose pipes of these boys. So it's that kind of thing. You learn from each other. You take from each other.
That is wonderful. Well, Shabana, I'm out of time, but I love conversations with you. I could talk to you for hours. So hopefully we get a chance to do this again. So congratulations.
You're very kind. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye now.
Okay. Bye. Bye. Bye.